Hello, everyone.
Welcome to Through the Smoke, and I hope you are having a wonderful evening. We are going to have an even better one in just a little bit. I'm David, the Funk Master Footle.
I am Bobby, Lord, Master, Chester, Master, and Esquire the Third, Fabian.
I'm Jesse Jones.
And I'm Eric Todd.
So right now I opened up a brand new tin of McBaron Burley London Blend. I've never tried it before.
I'll let you have the honors.
Yeah.
About the first bowl.
And Jesse has before, and he's really enjoyed it.
I have had it before. For those of you who haven't had Burley before, the McBaron Burley blend is a very good mixture to try. Good quality Burley tobacco has a flavor that is very unlike Virginia. It tastes like chocolate and honey, and it's really good. The problem for me in Burley tobacco is my body chemistry just doesn't get along with it. So I love Burley, but I can't smoke it. So I very, very rarely smoke Burley, because if I do, I know I won't be smoking anything for the next several days. It's so bad.
As the resident Burley smoker, Burley, as he said, has a very much a nutty chocolate and honey flavor in general. It's a very dark, warm tobacco in general. The nicotine content on Burley is also quite high. So
A lot higher nicotine, low sugar.
very low sugars, high nicotine. So if you're gonna smoke a large bowl of Burley, be prepared for the nicotine if you're not used to it. Burley's
So
one
if
of my
I freak out in a little while,
yeah,
You know
the
what?
way you guzzle
Never you mind, it'll
cigars.
be okay.
yeah, never mind. It'll be all right. It'll be all right. In general, though, Burleys are quite enjoyable as long as your body can handle them. That's really the biggest problem. It's just body chemistry.
Interesting.
What do you think?
Hard to say right now. It's very. It fills the entire space of my mouth instantly.
That's what she said.
Yeah,
Oh.
like immediately. Yeah, she said that. But it's hard to describe though. It's almost it has a sweetness, but not like a sugary sweetness to it. More like a natural sweetness. And
I'm glad you're smoking out of a church warden, because if it bites you like it
Yeah.
does me, you're gonna need that extra step.
yeah, Burley bites me as well. I don't smoke it very often, if at all, because of that. The first few experiences I've had with it were horrible, but I'm gonna give it a try. I won this tin unopened in the raffle at the Kansas City. No, what is it? The Greater Kansas City
Pipe Club.
Pipe Club. And so they host a pipe show every year in or around Kansas City, and they had a raffle, and I won this, a tin of snuff, and that's the snort kind, not the, the dip
Not the
kind.
put in your mouth dip kind.
Yeah, and a pipe, and then a deck of cards with someone who has an extensive pipe collection, just like pictures of different pipes. on all
Dustin
different
Nowitzki?
pipes. That's right. Yes.
Probably the foremost collector of blowfish pipes in North America, at least, if not the world.
Yeah.
Nice guy. Fantastic collection. If he ever goes to a show, make sure you stop by his booth and look at those pipes.
They're amazing.
Incredible.
As far as collecting incredible pipes, this church warden I'm smoking out of was made by our very own Jesse Jones, who is, he doesn't like this pipe very much because he feels like he failed miserably on it.
Fantastic pipe.
I absolutely adore it. I'm a big fan of church wardens, and if you see me smoke pipes on here, you'll see me a lot of times I'm smoking church wardens. I hold my pipes. I don't clench them in my teeth, and the rest of the guys pretty much do. And so it's very difficult to do that with the church warden. You can. It's a little bit tough.
Awkward.
I'm kind of like poking Bobby here if I do. And so it just kind of works for me. And I also love the elegance of it. And this was the first church warden that he ever made. And if you go to his website, I think there are some pictures of it.
Yeah, I got a photo of it online.
Yeah.
That one was actually a reject, which is...
It's not a reject. I love it.
It's a fantastic
Well, there were
pipe.
some flaws on the front of the bowl, and I was worried about it burning out, so I basically sold it today for cost.
It was a steal, let me tell you.
And it
Still
gets some
smokes like a
enjoyment
champ.
out of it.
Oh yeah. Oh man. It's fantastic. So we brought we're all doing pipes tonight. Sometimes we do cigars, and sometimes you'll see one of us light up a bowl and a pipe. But tonight it's pipe night, or at least corky pipe night, if we have any corky per se. You have your
Hans, this is my Pilsen Calabash. I received it completely unsmoked at the same show that David won his tin of tobacco and other things. In fact, it actually has staining. It has actual discoloration where the sticker had been on it for so long. Fantastically well smoking Calabash. It's my first. It also has a sterling silver band on it, which was in fantastic shape. I got it for steel for what it is. I love the thing. If you're unfamiliar with Calabashes, they're a lot of fun. They normally have meerschaum bowls with an actual gourd body. Because of this second chamber here, it causes a negative vacuum right here, so whenever you smoke out of it, that smoke fills up that entire chamber and cools rapidly. So by the time it hits here, it's a very cool, very pleasant smoke for just about anything. Fantastic pipe, as goofy as it is.
And what is your other, I guess you could say, kind of goofy pipe or unique?
This here is my Nording Harmony. Eric Nording is my favorite Danish pipe maker. He's a crazy SOB. He's an old guy. He churns out pipes in like 45 minutes. Big old hefty guy, drinks a lot, has a ridiculously loud laugh, loves barbecue. It's pretty funny considering he's a Dane. But this is his Harmony series, which every pipe in his Harmony series is finished with this lacquer of sorts. Nobody really knows what it is. It's kind of his proprietary finish. But every pipe has a different lacquer and a different design on it. Mine is actually music notes. It's got staffs and notes all across it along this kind of a Victorian filigree background. It's the only one like it in the world. It had an interesting story of coming to me. We ordered it from, I ordered it from a little company, I guess, in London. And for some weird reason, instead of hitting London and then New York and then down, it hit London and then Denmark or Copenhagen. And then I want to say it was St. Petersburg, Singapore, and then Hawaii. The West Coast, and then got here. So for some weird reason, they spent 2 weeks and
Took the scenic route.
it took the scenic route.
Yeah.
I thought they had lost the pipe because it had been 8-9 days, and I just kind of finally gave up. And then I got my tracking number stuff, and turned out it was in Singapore, and I was like, what? So I did finally get the pipe. One of my favorite pipes. Smokes very well, but yeah, it's the only one like it in the world. So I love the thing.
And then Jesse?
Well, I'm not smoking a very remarkable pipe as far as aesthetically right now, but I do want to mention something about the maker. This is my Rad Davis Liverpool, one of the most expertly cut classic shapes, and that's one of the reasons why I bought it. I just want to mention that Rad, at the time of this recording, had a heart attack a couple of weeks ago. So he's fine. He's recovering in the hospital, but get well soon, Rad. You're an inspiration to upcoming pipe makers. We need you in the market still. But I brought some interesting pipes. This is a Scott Klein sandblasted blowfish apple thingy. I'm not exactly sure what to call it.
Fantastic.
If thingy is in the name, you know it's a unique pipe.
It is. Teardrop style shank. Nice blast. I bought it directly from Scott, again at the Kansas City Pipe Show, not the same year that these gentlemen got their acquisitions, but the year before that. Scott's a great guy. I think he's my same age, young guy.
Very young. He's a little guy, not much bigger than I am.
Fantastically well done. And it's the little details that are really fantastic about it. He's got the stem is actually countersunk into this extension here on the end of the shank. There's a bit of brass lining the mortise. Fantastic shaping, fantastic blast. Lightweight, and just a good pipe. I have a sandblasted Peter Heshin bent egg, which when I first started getting into pipes,
Looks like a sperm cell.
kind of does.
Yeah.
Peter Heshin
Very
is
closely resembles.
one of the makers that I was immediately drawn to. I love this design, and I love black palm, and this actually has a black palm insert. Pretty difficult to work with and turn, so nice pipe. I got this as an estate off of smokingpipes.com. And last but not least, and this sucker is a thing of amazement and uniqueness, I have a Walt Kanoy Cavalier in his suede blast finish. You really just, this shot I'm sure doesn't do it justice. Check out his sight and take a close-up look at the suede blast. Very, very interesting texture, an interesting finish. Something that looks extraordinarily fragile and crystalline, but surprisingly is pretty durable. And it is a Cavalier. It's got a drain cap on the front, nice thin grains of podlock, and I think it's zebra wood. I could be wrong on there. Expertly cut bit, great pipe.
And I am smoking an Irwin's Lumberman that I got from the same pipe show that Bobby acquired his.
We all went together.
Yeah. Oh man. Talk about a trip.
Oh yeah, it
was something.
Definitely that. Definitely that. But I also have here a pickaxe by I believe it's J. Adams, and it's got a nice tribal cutout to it. Smokes very well. I've also got I'm not really sure who makes it, but it's made out of soapstone.
Isn't his name Barrett? His last name
Yeah.
is Barrett.
I think that's right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
But he made them out of a rock, and I call it my rock pipe because it's just a soapstone.
Welcome
Smokes
to the rock.
Oh, absolutely. And then I have my only church warden, Savinelli, rusticated that I acquired at the same pipe show.
Yep.
Acquired actually all these pipes at the pipe show.
A note about that lumberman he's got. This SOB, I don't know how the hell he found it. But he came with, how many of those estate pipes come with? Just those two?
Yeah, 3. No, I got 4 out of that pot.
But it was that lumberman and that prince. He also got a prince out of there. Absolutely no name basket pipes, phenomenal grain,
Yeah.
0 fills, wonderful bird's eye on the lumberman. The prince I actually am borrowing from him right now to try and clone, but the straight grain on that is so tight and even. If it was a Dunhill, it would be a DR, probably 3 or 4 star, and cost
So-
$8,000.
Take-home message from that is if you are not one to avoid, I guess you could say, estate pipes or, like box pipes or bag pipes as they're sometimes called in your local smoke shop or something like that, where it's just this bin full of random assortments of maybe pre-owned pipes. Sometimes you can just find diamonds in the rough in those.
Yes, you do.
If you
Now-
look and know what you're looking for.
There's a lot of crap.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
But
you gotta
there's-
sift through the crap to see the diamond underneath.
Yeah.
But with the
Crap.
prince and with actually this lumberman both, I actually did some restoration work to it.
Yeah.
Restained the prints and got it looking really nice and buffed it out. This one actually turned out it had a sterling silver band around it as well. So
Yeah.
it was a
Not
nice
a repair. It
No.
came
Yep.
with the pipe.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
Oh, you forgot that one.
Yeah. I also recently acquired from a little dealer on Etsy. They're called the Shaw Pipe Company. They make corn cobs. They're really, really cheap. I like their prices. This is what I affectionately call my cob warden. Smokes like a charm. It's handmade. It was $10 with $4 shipping. You can't beat the thing. I mean, it came with the bag and just all kinds of fantastic stuff. So far, I really thoroughly enjoy the pipe, but I don't think I've ever seen a cob warden. So this is definitely a unique pipe in that regard.
So
With
then-
a reed stem.
Yes,
Yes, with a reed stem.
So then my interesting pipes. Now, Jesse, have you made any other church wardens since this one?
I made a small Dublin church warden for a gentleman who actually was deployed in Afghanistan. I don't know if he's there anymore. He might be. But actually, it wasn't what I'd call a full warden.
It was more like a half.
It was a demi-warden.
Okay. So something almost like this.
Yeah, something sort of like that. The stem was probably a little longer, the stubble
Yeah.
a little longer. But
Yeah.
yeah, not a fully fledged church warden.
So I have the first of what hopefully would be many, although he hates making them. Jesse Jones church warden. I have the first pipe I ever bought actually. My little Mitchell Thomas Acorns demi warden. I have a Brian Crowley
Oh.
Ramses.
Oh.
It's a very unique style pipe. It's one of the few ones that I do enjoy clenching because it just
Oh.
it's
Brian and
Yeah.
Brian and I are pretty good friends, and he's rapidly becoming known as the guy that makes the Ramses.
Yes.
And he does a good job.
also another Brian Rowley pipe.
Fantastic pipe. One of my favorites.
So, going from there, it was an estate pipe that we actually had down here at the shop that was going to be for sale, and I picked it up beforehand. It's the Mini Viking.
Such an awesome little pipe.
It is it's
WDC,
a French
right?
briar, yep, WDC, and it's got a horn,
It's horn.
stem, and a brass ring. Oh,
Thank you.
and the size is just great. I find it quirky. The brass pins that are in the bowl just add a nice touch, and I've never seen another pipe like it. After that, I have my tsuge. This is a tsuge topper. It's a stovetop pipe or whatever, or one of those smoke tops or smokestacks. And it just is a really tall pipe. It like comes up and almost burns my eyebrows when I smoke it.
It's not a nose warmer.
No, it's not. And
It's an eyebrow.
it's and if I do this, I take my pinky and it literally just goes all the way, and I still have not reached the bottom of the bowl. And oh, if I can get it out now.
Oh.
There we go.
Okay. Oh, I can't get my finger.
Yeah, you got little stubby strong fingers. There you go.
Yeah, no.
So,
No.
besides that, then the other pipe I have is my Brevia rusticated, which is a interesting pipe in that it comes with a normal standard bent stem, and then,
It's a Mecha Warden.
yeah, it's a Mecha Warden in this regard. It transforms to a full-on church warden with this nice stem extension. So, interesting pipe in that regard. I love the rustication. It's got a beautiful red stain to it, smooth bowl. I'm not a fan of pipes that have been rusticated or sandblasted if there isn't some part of it left smooth. And so the top of the bowl, as well as a little bit right by where the shank meets the stem, is left smooth. And so it fits,
Your
yes,
Your
my
standards.
standards.
Your idiosyncrasies.
Yeah, I'm weird. So, besides that, we are also drinking a unique beer tonight, or at least
Extremely.
trying. This is Wells's banana bread beer.
It has a hint of hoppiness to it. It would be what I would say a little darker beer.
Yeah.
It's very much an ale. However, it tastes just like banana bread. It's
Yep.
interesting. It's
Yep.
good stuff, but it's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is what it says on the side of the. It comes in a 4-pack, not a 6-pack. It says an inspired brew made with our natural mineral water and fair trade bananas, tempting banoffee aromas, and flavors are balanced by the silky richness of a masterful malt blend and the peppery spice of the freshest, ripest hops. So, it's really good. It's actually fairly light. I thought it would be a little bit heavier.
I would agree.
But it's really enjoyable.
yeah.
And then we also got some Zingu,
Mm,
which is a Brazilian beer.
fantastic
It's, to me, I feel like it is what Guinness Black Lager was trying to be. Because this was around, and it's a darker lager.
It's a very dark lager.
But it is not a stout by any means. It is more like a lager in that regard, and it was around before, like the Budweiser Black,
Yeah.
and
All of the blacks
the Guinness
of
Black Lager, and
Shiner
all that.
Black,
Shiner Black,
yeah.
all the- it was around before then. And it's a like I said, Brazilian beer, and it's good. It's pronounced Zingu. The X.
I've always been a pretty big lager fan, and it is most definitely one of my favorite black lagers by far. It's wonderful, fantastic.
Tobacco?
Tobacco. I recently acquired a Peterson St. Patrick's Day 2014 pipe, which came in the mail today. I actually got Peterson's Canadian. I'm not normally a big English shape fan. I'm very much a fan of Danishes and things like that. So this was a bit of a departure for me, but I really liked it. Black sandblast. The top is green. It has St. Patrick's Day stamped on the bottom, and then it has in the nickel band the Peterson Strat Clover with the actual date of St. Patrick's Day. For those of you who don't know, it's March 17th.
Huzzah!
Yeah, huzzah! But I got it through Pipes and Cigars, and they sent a free pouch of Aaron Gobra pipe tobacco, which is an Irish whiskey flavored aromatic. It's made by the Scandinavian Tobacco Group, actually. When you think of tobaccos in a pouch like this, you normally don't think very good thoughts.
No.
But in general, this is actually not a bad pipe tobacco.
So wait, hold on.
Okay.
This was an Irish whiskey tobacco made by a Scandinavian company, smoked out of an Irish-made pipe in an English shape of a Canadian.
Yes. That now you see my interest in this entire setup.
Take a second to soak that all in. Roll that around your mouth for a minute.
I like it. But actually,
The
right
pipe
now,
is commemorating St. Patrick's Day.
St. Patrick's Day of all things. Ironically enough, I'm smoking this tobacco out of my Hilson. So, smoking it out of a Turkish pipe. But, whatever. It works. They were Christians. It's fine.
What does that have to do with anything?
St. Patrick. It works. It works. They were combined under the great Roman Empire.
I feel like St. Patrick rolled over in his grave.
A little bit.
And
Well,
all of a sudden, one solitary snake wound up on the Emerald Isle because you did that.
No. That started with this.
Oh, okay.
I didn't do this.
Alright,
I didn't do
alright,
this.
alright,
But anyway,
alright.
not my fault. Not my fault. Don't shoot the messenger.
Why not? He's a good target.
I know he's not expecting it, but that still tends to be frowned upon.
Fine.
I am smoking Mac Baron's release 3 Nuns. Yeah, right. So 3 Nuns been around for a very long time.
You have me talking about
I
things.
believe it was the chosen pipe tobacco of C.S. Lewis.
Yeah.
This reblend, the old one had Perique in it. The new one that Mac Baron made substitutes Kentucky for the Perique. I'm still not sure whether I'm a big fan of Kentucky tobaccos. In some blends, it really sings like an Old Dark Fire to get another Mac Baron blend.
Yeah.
But the 3 Nuns, it's good. It's not bad. It came in the tin pretty dry, which is actually how I like my tobacco. But I'm trying to smoke it up. Not bad. Don't think I'll be buying it again. Simply because I have Escudo, right? And I love Escudo, even the reblend. But when Scandinavian Tobacco Group started making it, great tobacco. Probably one of my daily smokes. Good stuff.
So myself and Eric are smoking that London blend, the McBaron Burley. And right now we're going to let our camera take a little break, and we'll see you back in just a little bit. And then we'll talk about some more exciting stuff.
So, to bring you back to speed, during like our little tiny break there, we found out that Bobby has a potential romantic interest who may be potentially romantically interested in him. And it was one of those, like, should have happened in high school, didn't happen in high school, what the fuck, why didn't it happen in high school kind of situations. And now, post-college, reconnecting. Now, first of all, that kind of situation sucks big floppy donkey dick.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it is just a crappy situation. I remember, I should say this. Let me preface this. In 8th grade, I decided I didn't want to cut my hair anymore.
Okay.
It wasn't that I wanted to grow my hair. It's just I had always despised getting my hair cut. And so finally I just turned to my parents and said, I'm just not going to do it anymore. Right? Fast forward into high school, a couple years of actual growth. And I was in the drama department, and one of the girls in the drama department, her name was Katie Cartina, I still remember, was just beautiful girl. She was like everyone's, oh man, if only kind of girl, right? And going into college, I still had my long hair. Sophomore year, the fraternity I had pledged, we decided to do a fundraiser, and I said if we raise over $1,000 for breast cancer research, I'll cut and donate my hair as well. I raised $1,500, so it went off with the ponytail, and here I am today, right? So I find out that Katie Cartina, and I quote, said this: "If Dave had short hair, I would have jumped on him so fast." And I'm just like, why are you saying this to other people? Who is the one person who can rectify said issue? And the one person you decided not to enlighten with this little tidbit of information. And I was just like, well, too bad. Like, at that point, it's just like, you know, if you're that shallow to where long hair was really what was just
the kicker.
like, screw you then. Like, honestly, you're not for me, because, well, and hey, I'm married now, so that has changed since the last two podcasts. Thank you. That happened on New Year's Eve, right at midnight of 2013 going into 14. So, I don't know why I'm talking about girls in high school who wanted to do it. But because it matters even less now.
Yeah.
So, but I just think it's really funny.
Yeah.
And going off of what he was having with his possible romantic interest is kind of just one of those things.
Yeah.
So now all of us have tried the beer. Jesse,
Yes.
your thoughts?
Banana nut bread
Banana nut bread.
in a shell. Yeah.
Okay. Yours?
Yeah, the same. It's good. It's a lot better than I anticipated.
Yeah.
It definitely resembles banana nut bread.
I was just surprised with how light it is. How, like, it's not a weak flavor. Like, you can get the nice flavorness to it. It's still a beer, and you can taste that. Because sometimes I just don't like beers that just don't taste like beer. But it's still light on the palate. Like, it's not overpowering. It's not. It doesn't feel like you're syrupy in your mouth or anything like that.
No, it's definitely. It's kind of like I would attribute it to flavored teas that aren't sweet.
Yeah.
So like a peach tea that's not sweet.
Yeah.
Just brewed with.
That is the one thing coming down to the south that just frustrates me. Well, there's a number of different things, but
just
one
the one
of,
thing.
But one of the things is just how prevalent sweet tea is.
God, I hate it.
Like, besides just hating it, like, if I drink a full, like, southern style sweet tea, within 2 sips, or if I'm slurping through a straw, like 1 or 2 slurps, I will instantly have a headache.
Really?
Like, excruciating, throbbing, pounding headache. And it only happens with sweet tea. Like, really, like, sugary, you know.
Chicken Express tea.
Yeah, like, ripping open a sugar packet, taking a lick, like that kind of sweet tea.
Sugar with some tea.
Yeah, and it's everywhere down here. And people just assume that's the kind of iced tea you want if you order an iced tea. First of all, sometimes when I go out to restaurants and I want tea, I actually want hot tea. Sometimes. But it's just funny, like I say, oh, I'll just have some tea, and they bring me like iced tea. It's like, well, okay. I would have mentioned iced had I wanted it iced. You know, tea is usually served warm.
Consider that the default here.
Yeah, it's just like down here when you say I'll have a Coke, you get brought a Dr. Pepper.
Or you get asked what kind.
Or what kind. Or you get asked what kind. In some places, I'll say I'll have
Clear
Coke, and they'll bring me a Dr. Pepper. Yeah, you know, it happens. I mean,
yeah, I don't know. It's just.
If that's the worst beef you have about the South,
No,
no.
It's one of. Let's just say like the biggest. Because to me, it limits like where I can go or what I can drink. Because if I just didn't like it, that'd be one thing. But I mean, if someone brings me tea and all they have is sweet tea and they just didn't bother to ask if I wanted some other type of tea or let me know it's sweet, and I start sipping it beginning of my meal, I'll have a headache. You know, I'm not going to enjoy the rest of my meal. So,
That is the worst. Asking for iced tea, they bring you sweet, and you're expecting unsweet, and you take a sip, and it's just a shock.
See, because to me, I am morally, ethically, and physically opposed to mustard and mayonnaise. Right? Just despise it,
It goes on
with
everything.
a burning passion of 1,000 suns. And this is coming from a guy who grew up in the Chicago suburbs, and I feel ashamed that I cannot have a true Chicago hot dog because they slather it in mustard, right? But the scent of mustard, you open up a big tub of it, and I'll just start gagging, right? Mayonnaise I just don't like, but mustard I'll throw up. And so, I know. It's
Good for you.
Yeah, but I think the default should be the plainest shit ever for any food item, for any drink. It's just like take it down to the core of what it's supposed to be. So like a hamburger, there should be jack shit on it,
And then add everything.
and then they should ask, do you want lettuce, tomato, onion, pickle, and then any possible condiments. And I know that's a way more work for whoever's making it, but fuck you, you're making me my sandwich. Make it the way I want. I'm sorry. Like, it just frustrates me, because I, for one, believe that recipes especially have been put out with the mindset that the flavor profile of all the different ingredients are how it should be.
Yeah.
Am I, do you agree in that?
I think especially in mid-upper level to upper level restaurants, if you have a meal, how it is brought out to you should be exactly as it is.
But when you're at McDonald's, it definitely does.
Well, sure. Yeah, but I mean, fast food.
That's why I get the Big Mac, is even though it may be a mayonnaise-based sauce, it's Thousand Island and I think mayonnaise.
Yeah.
You still
It's not
can't
a Big
taste
Mac
it.
without the sauce, exactly. I mean, so it really depends on the context. I believe, there's quite a few places that do very much frown upon you
But I can't
seasoning and things like that.
I can't even get mustard encrusted tuna or things like that. Or something with a southwestern mayo or so, I can't do it. No, by all means. And so it just frustrates me because I feel like I'm missing out on what some food items are meant to be by not being able to stomach or handle or some of the stuff that comes on it. I don't know.
Horseradish?
I'm okay with that. It's just spicy for me. Because it just numbs my mouth to where I can't taste anything.
I'm not a fan of horseradish.
Definitely. Speaking of building a burger your own way, there is a place local.
BYOB?
Yes.
Oh.
It's like a Five Guys Burgers and Fries.
Five
You go in and you say you want a single, double, or triple, hamburger or cheeseburger, and then you put whatever the fuck you want on it.
I've gotten sweet relish, Frank's hot sauce, Fritos, grilled onions, cheese.
You can put Lay's potato chips on it.
I've gotten all kinds of stuff on a burger. All
You can do it all.
It's
And
fantastic.
It's fantastic.
I mean, you can get a Dagwood burger, basically.
Nice.
They're
And it's greasy as shit, and
And-
it's fantastic.
and the fries. They have these
America.
super thin cut fries.
Oh yeah.
Oh, they're fantastic.
Parmesan.
Yeah, they're
Garlic
covered in
Parmesan.
Parmesan. Oh.
Yeah. Or they have salt and vinegar too, but they're nasty.
I'm hungry.
Oh no, the salt and vinegar. Salt and vinegar.
Can we order a pizza or something?
I got some fried rice.
Oh man.
Food.
Yeah, so I gotta drink beer that's flavored like food for the time being until I can get some food.
It'll work. Oh, well.
So, Jesse, did you update your blog posts on your website?
Yeah, did you update it?
Surprised you didn't look.
Oh.
Yes, I did.
Well,
So
the
is
reason
that a
is I was
yes or
expecting you to tell me whether or not you did.
Yeah, we were waiting for a
Yeah.
response.
Yeah. Yeah.
Glad you did it.
So we've been giving Jesse shit because he has this website. It's an actual really nice website. He designed
Very well
it.
done.
JonesPipes.com.
Woohoo! And look at some of his stuff, buy a commission, buy a pipe, send him some fan mail, love mail, secret admirers,
He is married.
I'd just be happy to get it.
Ladies, he is married.
Yes, sadly.
Yeah.
But his wife will actually take it as a compliment if you hit on him. Surprisingly,
This is true.
Yeah, and then kill you. But we've been giving him shit because he has this blog portion of it that he doesn't update very often, if at all.
Well, okay, to be fair, I like to update the blog post when I have product to put out to sell.
Sure.
Whenever I have product, I'll send out a newsletter. I'll say, take a look, I've got these pipes available. I also updated my blog. Well, since Halloween, I haven't had any new product for the general public. It's all been either commission or various gift work for Christmas, yada, yada, yada. So I haven't had anything for the general public. And these fine gentlemen didn't think that was acceptable.
No.
Well, no. We thought that him not having anything for the general public was okay because he was still making pipes.
Yes.
He
But
was-
no news for the general public. Is bad.
like no contact to his adoring fans, the masses who are just, prostrating themselves in front of you, just saying, Jesse, talk to us. Tell us your will.
Yeah.
That's really awkward.
But it is what they do.
It happens.
Are you smoking the Twizzlers?
I'm smoking the Twizzlers. So this is, this is Spinnaker. This is Sutliff Private Stock is the brand of tobacco, and this specific line is the Spinnaker. Burley and black Cavendish with a delightful mixture of sweet and tart. It tastes like Twizzler pull and peel. It smells like Twizzler pull and peel.
Yes.
And in just a moment, I'll be salivating as if I was eating Twizzler's pull and peel, and these guys will hate me for a minute until this bowl is done and the smoke is dissipated.
No, it's pretty fantastic, actually. It's really okay, but lit it up in the truck on the way home from Kansas City, and we were like,
That was rough stuff, man.
What? What?
I was definitely not a fan, but it does smell like exactly like what it smells like.
It is cherry pull and peel Twizzlers. So you have updated the site.
I have.
Okay. And are you planning on updating again?
Well, talking with you fine gentlemen, I have come up with a couple of topics that I'd like to hash out in the future. One being my dislike of the reverse calabash. It's a very hot item in the pipe world today. Seems like every maker is making some sort of reverse calabash. I don't think they work, and I'll go a little bit more into that on the blog post in the future. Another thing I'm going to talk about is whether or not there's a potential pipe bubble. We see this rapid explosion of artisan carvers. I'm one of them. But where will this end? How many can there be in the same market? Are we seeing something similar to the cigar boom in the early 90s? Is this all going to drop off in a couple of years? So, yeah, I'm going to talk about that. I've got a very nice pipe coming. I reserved a Cornelius Mons from Marty Pulvers. Paid it off just recently, so it should be on the way here. That'd be the most expensive pipe I've ever bought, and I got it for a steal from Marty. So I'm very curious to see how that pipe is. He's regarded as one of the best pipe makers possibly in the world. So I'm curious to see that pipe.
Very nice.
good.
So that's coming at jonespipes.com. So keep an eye out for that. As well, he was Jesse was listed on the what is the site?
Tobacco pipe collectors? Yes, TPC.
You were mentioned as an up and coming one, and then as well, you have an Instagram.
I do. So it's just
recently brought up or made.
recently,
Yes.
right? I think I started in December. It's Jesse Jones Pipes. So if you wonder what I do in the downtime between posts when I have product, that's a good place to check out what I'm doing. I post lots of in progress photos. So check those out.
I do too.
Yeah. So I do not have an Instagram.
You should get one.
The only reason I would get one is to follow you, Jesse.
Well, thank you.
But Gesundheit. I feel as though my, give a damn's busted, for lack of a better term.
Is your give a shit meter kind of bouncing?
Yeah. I took a double dose of fuck it all this morning, and it just, like, I really don't care what other people are taking pictures of.
And it depends on the purpose, Girls who are posting just selfies all day, even if they're attractive,
Gets old.
Post something significant.
And see, that's the reason why I don't have an Instagram. I don't have anything worthwhile to post.
But
however, once I start making knives,
true,
which I want
art,
to do,
or art,
sculpture, anything that I'm creating, and would like people to see the progress.
Yeah, that makes sense. But for me, like, say for instance this, I went to Tanzania when I was in undergraduate school, and I studied abroad for 4 months. And I took a number of different pictures. I probably took like 200 pictures, right? But for 4 months, 200 pictures really isn't that much.
No.
And I mean, I saw a pride of lions hunting. I saw a herd of 60 elephants. I saw a herd of 30 giraffe running in front of me as I was driving along.
That's cool as shit.
Like, I've seen all of these amazing things. Like, I visited tribes. I went hunting with the Hadzabe, one of the last hunter-gatherer tribes in the world, and the only one left in Africa, right? And I didn't take any of these pictures. Like, there was pictures taken of me by other people, but I just don't document things with pictures. I would rather sit down and experience whatever I'm doing than take pictures. I mean, even on my honeymoon, I think my wife Jenny and I took 7 pictures for the week we were down there.
Yeah.
That's it.
You know what? I think you're a lot like me. You like to just take mental pictures.
Yeah. Oh,
you want to. I mean,
it's
not necessarily.
And I do. I have like a partially photographic memory to the point where like I can go back and like pick out details and be like, oh, that was that color, and oh, those people were standing over there doing this, and this was the song playing. Like, it really frustrates people because back when I was in undergraduate school and I'd be studying with people, I would print out the lectures, like the PowerPoints, and just look at the slide that was shown and notice the layout, notice the background color, if there was a picture, notice the picture, and I would have that as like a memory marker for whatever I was studying.
This is what this is. Done.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I would just make the connection instantly because I had that mental exact replica picture of that slide. And so, I do.
That's how I am with information. I don't necessarily soak up the information itself, but I look for patterns and pictures. And so for me, when I take notes, I don't necessarily take notes as much as I write shorthand patterns because I know if I look at that, I'll know what it's referencing at that point in time. So it doesn't matter.
Slow writer.
I know when I went to Denmark for study abroad for a couple of weeks, I took 700 or 800 pictures, but 99% of my pictures were of architectural things.
Yeah.
So I'm in quite a few photos of other people, but
that's kind of cool.
But when it came to events and things like that, I didn't actually take.
Yeah, but when you're in Europe, if you don't take architectural pictures, you're
kind of dumb. Yeah, you're kind of dumb. I mean, and that was my
some of the best damn architecture.
Oh my goodness! And that was my deal. I took pictures of the scenery that was around me, but when it came to actual events, I'm in a lot of pictures, but I didn't take any. I experienced things. So that was my big one.
I just don't function in a. I need to document everything.
No.
Plus,
that's what girlfriends are for. So we don't have to do it.
So anyway, I also am a fan of telling stories.
Yes.
I was actually in the graduate level storytelling class here at West Texas A&M University in Canyon, WT, and was the president, aka guild master, of the Panhandle Storytelling Guild, which is set up through the English, or I forget what it's called, communications department at WT. And members of the storytelling classes are automatically inducted as members into said storytelling guild. And, I just like that. I like, as they would say, telling a tale, weaving a yarn.
You were a bard.
Yeah, I'm a bard. Or a scop.
Scop, yeah.
Yes, because I don't sing as much. Because Jenny doesn't really like it when I sing. Yeah. And but I do have a ukulele, so that is a string instrument that I can play well. But anyway, And so like I just appreciate being able to tell a story more than just being like, here, you know, a picture's worth 1,000 words, but yeah, that picture, you look at it for 30 seconds. A story, you know, we could sit here and smoke cigars and smoke pipes and tell stories and laugh, and there's an evening.
Yeah.
Versus, here's a slideshow of my trip. How lame is that?
Right? Yeah, it's just not as much fun.
Now, back when you actually had like a slide projector and stuff like that was actually a thing.
Cool. Yeah.
You know, people
Because
would,
it's a combination of telling a story and showing pictures.
Exactly. Like people would come over and you would make slides of your vacation and then project it onto something, and it was this big evening. My grandfather was
It was like night in matinee.
Yeah, was a big time chiropractor in Illinois, and he actually helped the push for Illinois to actually require licensing for chiropractors. He was one of the ones who actually helped push that, and he was president for just a little bit. He was like an interim president at chiropractic college, and then vice president for years and years and years and years and years. And so he was invited to Japan to help them with their chiropractic setup and their licensing. And the entire time he and my grandmother were there, they were followed around by a film crew and a camera crew.
Wow.
And just documenting his trip in Japan, right? So they had some of these amazing photos. Like I saw my grandmother in like a kimono. It was really cool, right? But when they got back to the States about like 2 months later, a delegation from those Japanese chiropractors came to the United States and visited my grandparents at their house and brought the pictures and film of my grandparents' trip. And so my grandparents were sitting in their living room watching themselves in Japan from the perspective of these people who followed them around the entire time.
Wow.
And so it was just really, like they said it was kind of surreal.
Yeah.
That is definitely something that Japanese, Chinese people, they document
Everything. Yeah.
You know, I work in a retail store, and I've seen people from China, people from Japan come in, and they always have cameras around their necks, and even some people have had someone in their group carrying around a video camera, filming everything while they're shopping.
Yeah, while they're shopping. Yeah.
But it was watching yourself though.
It's weird. It is weird. I've seen myself in performances on film, and it's
so hard. I hate it.
It's just so strange. I'm like, no.
I sound like that?
I look like that? I acted like, no.
When I watch these videos,
I think when we watch these.
I know. Ironically enough, we're talking about it.
I will say one thing though. Jesse, you are the most reluctant to take part in those.
Yes.
I know.
This is true.
You like your anonymity.
I do. I do.
But you're trying to break out into the world of pipes to be a standout pipe maker. So you can't be anonymous. You have to get your name out there, your face, that mustache of epicness of yours. You have to get it out there.
Come on. You know, that's
you know, if Caminetto hadn't taken the mustache, there's a stem mark on their pipes.
Yeah.
Totally.
Oh, I know. I'm still so glad you kept it for your wedding.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was some debate. Will I look back on this in 30 years and think, man, what an idiot?
Yes.
But, you know, I figured that's probably going to be an
I think there's old couples looking back at their weddings thinking, why the hell did I wear a pink tux?
Yeah. I mean, you can think of much worse things.
Oh, my
Who
gosh.
thought a blue suit suit with a
camo?
Oh, God. Camo. Like, I saw, like, camo wedding dresses and stuff like that.
Just why?
Yeah. So, all right, we're going to take another quick break real quick and be back in just a little bit. Save the pieces. Moshe, Billy, Tattoo. 1, 2, 3 in Swahili. Welcome back. We took a little break. So, exciting news. Now that, you know, broke the ice and said that I'm married, we've been receiving a lot of different gifts. A lot of different wedding gifts and wedding sentiments and things like that. And one of the most exciting things is we got a new, it's normally like $169 vacuum for $3.
Was it a Dyson?
No, sadly it wasn't a Dyson. You like screwed the pooch on any vacuuming excitement by getting a Dyson for your wedding.
Yeah.
But no, we got a Hoover. It's like a really nice Hoover. It's a pet one, even though we don't have pets. But Jenny sheds a lot, so same difference.
It really helps she's nauseous.
she knows. She was the one who's like, we need to get the pet one that handles hair. Just like, okay. So like, yes, dear. Like those famous words that are you just bowing out and saying, okay, I'm not gonna fight this, and also the subtle little fine fuck you kind of thing. Yes, dear. You're an idiot. Pat on the head, right? Like that's what she does to me. You're an idiot. Pat on the head. Yes, dear. But anyway, so we got it for $3.38 after returning some things which were just and then some gift cards that we got. We paid $3.38 for a $169 vacuum. I was stoked.
Badass.
But what brought that on and why I'm excited about it is because we did return some things. And I hate to be ungrateful, and I actually don't like returning gifts, even if it's something I know I won't use, simply because there was some sentiment behind it, even if it was just like picked up on the way to whatever function you're going to. Like
it's still a gift.
Yeah. And so, I don't know, and you can say that, well, all of those gifts then went to get us something we did want, which was the vacuum. But I don't know. It's just weird to me, and it's something that I've always kind of struggled with, I guess you could say. Just gifts in general. Like, I know that there is a proper etiquette, so to speak. Like you're grateful no matter what. If you return it, then you're still grateful, and you do then tell the person if they ever ask, would you ever do with it, or I haven't seen it in a while. Well, we just couldn't use it and we returned it, but we were able to get something we needed, or like that, and play it off. But like, do you guys feel the same way? What did you do with your wedding presents?
Well, fortunately, we only got what we asked for.
Okay.
So that was a good thing. And to me, it depends on your family.
Okay.
My family is very much, if you don't like it, go return it. That is not going to hurt my feelings, and I would rather them, it's not going to offend them. Yeah. They're okay with that.
Yeah.
Now, what you don't know is the other side of the family necessarily. Fortunately, I didn't have to deal with that. And digressing a little bit to the Dyson that I got for our wedding, I was so freaking excited. I must have vacuumed the living room 3 times in a row. It's got the ball, and so I was just...
It's like a game. It's like back when you were a kid, playing with cars, swerving around.
Yeah. It's like this space age thingy, and it's cool with all the clicky devices and the modular system, and I was like vacuuming blinds. It was insane.
This, dear viewers, is Jesse's child side.
Yeah, I
have a Dyson!
That was pretty much, I was so happy. But
like, I think this was probably the closest you ever got to being, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. If you even have a kid, or you win the lottery, you'd be like, okay, cool, awesome, but the Dyson, oh my god, like that was what you were thinking on the inside, but you're just like,
here's how it's going to go in the future. Congratulations, Mr. Jones, it's a boy. Awesome, cool.
I think the second closest I've ever seen you being so giddy was when I was making homemade pina coladas with a coconut.
No. It wasn't giddy at first. After a couple of those pina coladas and the coconut, on the other hand, he was a little bit excited.
I recall smashing coconuts open on the concrete.
You're like, coconut! Yeah.
But to answer your question, no, Dave, I don't think it's bad.
Okay. I would agree.
Okay.
I would like to put on record, I am grateful for everything I got from everyone who gave anything, even if it was just a card and nothing else. Yeah. I really appreciated this.
I think in the end, that's actually what matters in that sense, is
the sentiment behind
it. Absolutely.
I
I agree. It's not You know, my family for the most part has been the same way of, you know, yeah, we got you something, but that's because we thought you may use it. If you can't, go get something you can. Most of my gifts have always been relatively utilitarian, though, so I've always found a use for pretty much every gift I've ever gotten. Either Legos, which there's always a use for Legos, so I'm okay with it. I mean,
Can never go wrong with Legos.
I still get Legos.
So,
to this
40 years
day.
old, give him Legos. It'll be
So
alright.
there was this. Speaking of Legos, the porn star Christy Mack put out on Twitter a challenge to her fans, saying, "I will give a blowjob to the guy who makes and creates the best Lego creation that I can put in my house."
Guys, I need to go. I need to go buy some Legos.
The best I saw was that someone took a picture, like a screenshot of this challenge on Twitter, and then posted it on Facebook. And someone's comment was just, "I just bought Legoland." Like I'm just, but I'm sure she's a wonderful woman. But would you be willing to do that, knowing just where the tables have, or like the chips have already lied? I guess I don't know. But like
At the same time, though,
I'm a sculptor. I'm still making sculpture. And fucking.
I think that's
so. That's your answer.
all things considered. Considering the situation, and I'm sure a lot of people, it's not necessarily of the Legos itself as much as she's a porn star. What if I catch something? You know, how many penises has she had in her mouth?
Well,
But they follow such stringent,
true.
you know, health record. I mean, I'm like, I don't really see a problem with
I personally don't care about someone's history.
Yeah.
I don't. I just wanted to the general, like, it's a topic of contention for some
It
people.
is. I agree.
You know?
Are you clean? Yes. All right. We're good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Enough said.
I don't know. I just think the whole premise, even if it wasn't Christy Mack, some famous porn star, just saying, "I'll give a blowjob to someone who creates a Lego creation I can put into my house." I just think that's a cool contest in general.
Oh yeah. I mean, it doesn't matter who it is, really. I'm like, okay, yeah.
It just doesn't hurt the reward.
Yeah. The reward is nice.
I mean, like,
I did see a follow up to that. I think somebody tweeted her and asked, you know, so is this like in a sense prostitution? And she replied back, "No, I'm just a whore who likes Legos." And I was like,
respect. Respect. Like, you have to appreciate her. She's like, hey, you know. But okay, so I am, and I was faced with a lot of, I guess you could say, opposition. Back when I was in undergraduate school to the idea of pornography. My undergraduate school was very, very liberal, and so there was a lot of, especially female student body, but just in general, the student body were a bit more opposed to things that they saw as being oppressive or misogynistic or closed-minded in one direction or the other.
okay.
Right? And so I got in actually a number of different debates about like just things akin to pornography and what it actually means societally and what it means culturally and what it means,
Okay.
you know, in the realm of gender relations. And I am a proponent of it. Well, let me fix that. I support its existence, but I'm not necessarily a proponent. Like, yeah, porn. Like, but I do see it filling a niche. I do see it filling a purpose, and I don't see anything inherently wrong with its existence per se. And so it was interesting to hear a lot of people just saying that in and of itself existing, you know, it is fostering hatred and, you know, inequality and things like that, especially on the side of towards women. Everything was always towards women, you know. So it's nice to see someone who is in the industry, especially a woman, who is just like, this is just my job. I enjoy it. It pays the bills, and I'm good at it.
Hey.
Who cares?
Yeah.
You know, so it's refreshing that, you know, that they're doing something and they're being open about it, upfront about it, and they're, you know, it's not something taboo to kind of hide, you know. Now, granted, I don't think Christy Mack is her actual name. Most actors or actresses have pseudonyms, but so in that regard, she's not fully out there, to my knowledge. But at the same time, it's still nice to see how ethical, or if you want to look at it in this way, moral her challenge is. You know, she's still offering a blowjob for Legos, but you know, tis what it is. But it's still nice to see, you know, I guess, like, someone who is vocal about, like, this is just what it is.
Yeah.
You know, maybe it'll start a good conversation.
Yeah.
Maybe this is starting a good conversation.
Hey.
And
Yeah.
So we just went from wedding gifts to blowjobs for Legos.
Hey.
From wedding gifts to Dysons to blowjobs. I think.
I see a connection. I see it. Yeah.
You know, I'm glad you're the one who made that connection. It's not me this time. It's not my dirty mind.
Yeah, probably the most straight-laced one here at the table.
Well, you know. But oh man.
You okay there, Dave?
Yeah, I'm just happy. Life is wonderful in so many ways.
Oh yeah, no, I agree. That's fantastic. I mean, so we've been having some ridiculously bipolar weather around here.
Yes.
And it was 70 today. It's supposed to be.
For the past 2 days, it was, or was it 2 days? Yeah, the past 2 days, it was cold as shit.
Today,
colder than a well digger's ass. But
yeah, well.
Why are you thinking about
today? Today I'm wearing shorts and a t-shirt because it got up to like 70. Tomorrow it's supposed to be 60. Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday we're expecting cumulatively between those 3 days like 12 inches of snow.
Really? Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I guess I should watch the weather more often.
Watch the weather. Yeah. It's supposed to be like
sides from Sunday.
Yeah. It's supposed to be like 3 inches on Sunday.
I've stopped looking at the weather though. I really have. I don't care.
It's,
you know,
someone says it's supposed to be cold. All right, I'll throw a jacket on.
Because that's the thing. Like, someone will say it's gonna be cold tomorrow, and it is. But I'll wake up in the morning and go to work wearing my winter jacket and shivering, you know, as I'm warming up my car, which is barely able to start because it's so cold. And then, like, 4 hours later, I'm sweating in same coat. You know, it's just like, it doesn't matter around here. It doesn't matter around here. You don't like the weather? Wait a half an hour. You know, like,
it's subject to change.
Yeah. What is it? What's the joke? Why is it so windy in the Panhandle in Texas? Because Oklahoma blows.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's what it was. I heard that joke, and it's funny because I don't really care. You know, my wife is from Oklahoma, and so she'd probably be not a fan of me knowing that joke and saying that joke, but I think it's hilarious. So
you can ask for forgiveness later.
Yeah, probably. You know,
yeah.
Either that or the couch is kind of comfy. You know.
Always buy a comfy couch.
Yes, always. Either that or a really spacious doghouse.
Yeah. Yeah.
No kidding.
It's like, why are you getting out of a doghouse? You don't have a dog. Well, you see, I have a bad history of talking back.
Yeah. Well, you know, it happens. Luckily, I don't have to worry about that.
At least not yet.
Not yet.
Hopefully.
Hey.
Cha-cha-cha-cha.
So you're getting a tattoo, right?
Yes.
Oh, that's right.
Another, I should say.
Another. I am, as my dear friends would say, tatted up. I'm getting a new tattoo in 2 weeks. We have this fantastic thing called the Ink Life Tour. It's a 6-8 month tour across the U.S. with some of the world's really largest tattoo artists. They get together at big convention centers, bands play, they do crazy things like suspensions where they use, you know, big old meat hooks hanging people's skin and swing them around from the ceiling. They get tattoos, they have big old competitions.
Concerts.
It's basically Tattoo Lollapalooza. It's pretty fantastic. I am getting a new tattoo there. I have 7 now, I guess. I guess in a sense, I have 3 on my arm, on my right arm. I have 1 here. I have a large chest piece, quarter half sleeve thing here. I then have a UV tattoo on my forearm here, and
I always forget about that.
Yep, yeah, you don't see it. It's invisible. I'm getting, and it is in traditional Nordic style. I'm getting Mjolnir, which is Thor's hammer, on my right calf. When I say Mjolnir, I mean the actual legitimate knotted, looks like an upside down T, almost like an anchor, actually. Norse mythology is pretty interesting. The way Mjolnir was forged, it was forged by dwarves, actually. And they were in a contest with Loki. And yeah. Anyways, Loki challenged them to saying that they could not create the best weapon, and if they did, then he would take their forge or something along those lines. But when they forged Mjolnir, there's actually an error in their forging, which is why, historically, it's a one-handed hammer instead of a two-handed hammer. Warhammers are two-handed in general, but they had a flaw in the handle, so it became a one-handed hammer. But the quality of the hammer itself was still so good that they ended up beating Loki, which, him being the trickster, some other things happened and stuff. But nonetheless, they actually won the competition. But my design will be very knotted. If you look up Mjolnir, M-J-O-L-N-I-R, it's not how you think it sounds. And it's not Master Chief's armor either. I know that's called Mjolnir.
I made that connection like
a long
whenever
time.
you said it and spelled it, and I was like, oh my god.
Yeah,
it's just like the armor.
That's where they got the name from.
Yes, I'm a Halo nerd.
Yes. Oh, Halo. Anyways, that's where they got it. I'm getting it from a wonderful tattoo artist, and it'll be entered into the competition. It's gonna be great.
I would like to point out that you have what is considered to be a very traditionally office-type job. Like, white collar, normally, IT, technical office, like dealing with banks and their computer programs, software, and he's the one who's most tatted out of all of us. I have none.
No, I have none. And Jesse has none. So. But there is actually a local lawyer here in Amarillo that
he's sleeved out.
He is basically completely covered from here
down
and here down. Completely covered in tattoos.
Yes.
He's a very well-respected lawyer.
He
hangs out in biker bars whenever he's not in the office.
Yeah, cool guy. I've
very
seen,
cool.
I work for a company that produces financial software for banks. We produce teller software. We do imaging software. We do laser imaging software. We process banks. We're a data center for banks. I'll leave the name unsaid just for confidentiality reasons. But if you've ever seen Office Space, we are Initech. Yeah. We really are. I work in the IT department. I work in respects in kind of my own niche there. I traditionally with my degree, which I will be graduating with in May, I'm actually a programmer. My basis is in programming. However, I work in IT, which there is not the same as software engineering, but I operate in a limited respect as a programmer within the department, so I have a little bit of independent leeway, but my main area of expertise is with virtual servers. So, kind of an interesting thing, but yes, I work very much a white-collar H5 job.
Oh. I don't know, have we ever gone through and mentioned what our degrees are in? Like, Jesse has a master's, you're working on your master's,
yep.
He's working on his bachelor's, and I have mine.
Yeah.
Have we ever gone through next
No.
what we had?
No.
Or what we did?
So, my master's degree is in political science, specifically political thought, political philosophy, a lot of the study of types of government. Job market for my field sucks, hence...
Pie making!
But it was something I was interested in. I didn't really expect to get a good job in the field. I guess you could call me a Renaissance man because I just like learning stuff.
What was your bachelor's in?
My bachelor's is also in political science, and I had a minor in philosophy. So yeah, I like to think.
Yes. I will be graduating in May with my Bachelor's of Business Administration in Computer Information Systems. It is the beautiful merging of computer programming and business. So we approach the degree very much with the mind of creating solutions, software solutions for businesses and how to go about that. It's very much a corporate job. My minor's in economics, of all things, but goes pretty well with where I'm at right now.
I'm currently working on, we'll be finishing up, wrapping up soon, my Master's of Science in Biology, specifically with a focus on arachnology, and my, I know, you're not a fan, and my main interest is solifugis, which are camel spiders, those big ugly honkers from all over.
Which is actually a misconception. There's not all camel spiders are in fact big.
Yeah, no. I actually found a new species and I'm in the process of describing it, and it is at full size, an adult, 8 millimeters long. So pinky nail is an adult. So, I have a bachelor's. It's ironically enough because I went to a liberal arts college that does not have any other type of degree besides a Bachelor of Arts. A Bachelor's of Arts majoring in biology, and then minoring in film and adult cinema, which I was under the philosophy, and I've always thought this way, that when you go to a higher education, like just some type of higher education, pick your major that you want to go in full time. Like that's what you want to do when you grow up, so to speak. And then your minor should either complement it, or should just be something you like.
Yeah.
So there was really nothing, because at the time there wasn't any entomology courses or arachnology courses or anything with arthropods at the school where I went to, the college that I went to. So there wasn't anything that was really going to augment me. I mean, I could have done minor in microbiology, but that's not what I'm doing. You know, I could have done it in molecular biology, but that's again not what I'm doing. Or pathology, but again, that's not what I'm doing. So I just decided to go a crazy route. So,
yeah.
And then
I got my Bachelor's of Fine Arts in 3D Studio Art with my focus and major in glass and minor in just sculpture. And I've actually taken more of a liking to metal sculpture, and I am working for an artist, a local artist, as a metal fabricator, doing some of his commission work, or helping him with some of his commission work actually, which, you know, it's what I wanted to do.
It's fantastic.
And I'm actually in the process of getting my teaching certificate so I can teach art in high school.
Hey.
So we have a wide range, like a very wide breadth of knowledge, I guess you could say. Like the base of our knowledge is very far-reaching.
Diverse.
Yeah.
It's very diverse.
And so it's really nice because whenever we come together like this and like we either do the podcast or we just hang out, we have
all of our bases covered when it comes to different ideals and thinking.
And we get a lot of interesting points of view.
Oh,
yes. Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
Yeah. So I mean, I grew up in the suburbs of Chicago, so I get like a northern perspective. You grew up in Dallas area, so we got the big city.
I grew up in the sandbox, so I grew up in an oil-filled town.
Yeah. And then you grew up. And then you grew up on
New Mexico, very rural.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know, just
we got big city, we got smaller city, and then we got smaller.
Dallas is still fairly large.
True.
You know.
We grew up in BFE.
I guess I grew up outside of Dallas.
Yeah.
So I got a little bit of the smaller feel,
But either way, we'll have to wrap this up pretty soon. If you'd like, leave in the comments where you guys are from.
Yeah.
You know, leave degrees, you know, put a different perspective out there.
We can maybe turn this into networking if all of a sudden one of the commenters sees someone else who has a degree in their field.
I'm always looking for jobs.
Hey. So, thank you so much for tuning in, and hopefully we'll see you next time.